Hey everybody, Brian Boyle here, and welcome to episode 161 of The Mesh Tongue. So, who am I and why am I qualified to be telling you about this? So, I am a physical therapist. I've got a doctorate in physical therapy, been practicing for 19 years, and I've been a runner since I was 14. I'll be 42 here in just a few months, so quite a few of those years was running competitively. Now my job is to keep you healthy and to keep you from having to go through what I had to go through in my formidable years, as we'll call them, whether it was injuries or just beating myself up over whether or not I should continue on, to what to eat, to how to train, whatever it may be. From time to time, you'll see that I interview other people. That my schedule is crazy busy between practicing and family life and such. So I try to get out as much as I can and find some people that will give you value. But for the most part, if you look through all these episodes, this is episode 161. If you look through the episodes, it's just me talking to you, just a friend, a coach, that's just trying to help you out. So. What are we talking about today? Now, I was listening to Tim Ferriss on his Tim Ferriss Show podcast the other day. I've kind of gotten away from podcasts, as I'm trying to get other things going. You may find this ebb and flow yourself, depending on how creative you need to be. Between a book that I'm trying to get finished, between the Mesh Tongue, between other work things that I've got going on, it sometimes does make it really difficult to listen to other people and to not just absorb what they're saying. It's really difficult to then have your own thoughts. But from time to time, I'm still listening. So Tim's show talked about how do you know when to give up? How do you know when to quit? And he had some very, very fascinating people on there, some really high-name people that have been through it. They've quit, they've stopped, they've pivoted, they've changed direction. And so when I was thinking about this, and I kind of shut off the podcast, and I was thinking about how does this pertain to running. It hit me like a train in the night. It said, I've quit running multiple times. I have stopped competition multiple times and then got back into it. And the last time that I stopped, and then really the time that I kind of went into retirement, it was because of these very reasons. And so Chase Jarvis, who is the CEO and the founder of Creative Live, was interviewed and asked. He said, "How did you know, or how do you know when to stop or pivot or quit?" And his response was pretty interesting. So I think this is going to be some value for you. So he says he asks himself two questions on this rubric, and he says the first question is it working? Okay, is it working? And the second one is, are you still in love with the mission? So how does that pertain to running? So if you're trying to run a marathon and you continuously get hurt, you're missing out on your family life, you are you're just not getting enough sleep, you're sick all the time, you're trying to bump your mileage up, but there's just step after step after step. It just seems to be, there's always an obstacle in your way. Is it working? So you could say, well, maybe it's not working at this point. Maybe those are just roadblocks. Maybe those are obstacles. Maybe it is some weird cosmos thing. The universe is just throwing it out at you, and it's just bad timing. Okay? Then you would ask yourself the second question. So even if you said yes, yep, or you say no, it's not working. Is the mission something that you're still in love with? And you say, well, I do love running. I do love the camaraderie of my training partners. My family's supportive. My friends are supportive. I've got all of this gear, and I want to keep going. Well, then maybe it's a good thing that you just keep going. Just, if you don't have anything that is stopping you, if it's not taking from your relationships, if it's not taking these things, keep going. Now, what if it is straining relationships? What if it is doing all these things, and then you say, you know what? I'm really not in love with the mission anymore. really that was something that I wanted to do because everyone else seemed to be doing it. Really, it was something that I just thought was the next step. After college, I had no desire to run a marathon, and I had no desire. I thought, that's just not something that I want to do. I loved running 5Ks fast. I loved running 10Ks fast. I loved running half marathons fast. The reason I bumped up to the marathon was because it was like in 2000. That was the thing. Like if you were a serious runner, that was the thing you were supposed to do. And you can follow Bill Rogers and all those guys and the greats all the way through from the 70s all the way up. If you were a serious runner after college, that was just the next step to do. And it seems like that's the case as well right now. I mean, a lot of people are running marathons. Marathons are probably more popular than ever. There's a little bit of falling off that over the last 2 years. But, if we think about the last 5 years, the marathon is still probably one of the things that people sign up for. You're starting to see people jumping up to 50Ks and 100 milers that, just get out there and enjoy nature and be out there and the next challenge. But the interesting thing with that is that I wasn't really running marathons for myself. I was running marathons because I thought everyone else was expecting me to do that. Okay, people say, "Oh, well, you haven't run a marathon. What, you're a serious runner. I see you out there running all the time. How come you haven't run a marathon?" And all of a sudden, kind of got rumored into it, and so ran a few marathons, quite a few marathons actually, but just never fell in love with it. Was never able to recover from the marathon quick enough to get back into my normal training. Was always just kind of stressed about the additional mileage. Was ruining relationships because I was always out training, so on and so on. So it was like, well, let's see. It has all of these things that are maybe stumbling blocks in the way. Okay, is it working? Okay, it wasn't. And then was I still in love with the mission? And I said I was not really in love with the mission. So my decision became very easily. So even though I didn't use those two questions, by deducing all these things together, I was able to come to the conclusion that I'm just going to stop running marathons, and so I did. And so if you think about that, if you're thinking about running and you're thinking about, well, I like this, and then how do you do it without quitting running? You say, okay, well, what I did is I went back to half marathons. I went to 10Ks, 5Ks, and it worked. In love with the mission, perfect. Okay, so are you doing that in your own life? Are you jumping up to something because your running partners are jumping up? Are you running up to something because, no pun intended, running up to something? Are you bumping up to the next level because so-and-so said, well, gosh, let's sign up for this, and I need to because I just, that's what I'm supposed to do. So I'll leave you with that. Is it working, and are you in love with the mission? If you're not, probably need to change direction, probably need to change course on where you're going, and you can take this to anything in your life. Again, this is applicable to just about anything in your life, whether it's relationships, work, if it's schooling, if you're in school right now and you're just not in love with the chosen path that you're taking, your career path, family, whatever, okay, change directions. I don't necessarily condone people just leaving family, but change the direction of where you're going. So that's it, episode 161. Brian Boyle here. Check out runpainless.com. Also, please don't go hurting yourself to come back. I know it seems like some people just love to find me business, and that's great. If you've got questions, send those to me, Brian at company5k. That's the number 5k.com. I'll be happy to get back to you if you've got those questions. If you need anything, by all means, reach out. But whatever you do, don't go hurting yourself to come back. Please share this with your friends, your family, training partners, and I will see you again next time. All right.